Yo, what is up, it's your boy MILESTONE. Can't take a motherfucking loss, and today we react. Today we reacting to the fights business as always, and
the notorious Conor McGregor.
You know we have to react to UFC 329, Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway, a deeper dive. I just got finished watching the Embedded, and I'm hyped. I ain't gonna lie, I'm fucking hyped, gang. I ain't gonna lie, I'm actually fucking hyped. Like I'm ready, gang. Let's just get right into this shit. I don't even want to talk. Like, I'm being honest, bro. All I'm about to hear throughout this video is, oh, he broke his foot. He pulled out the fight. What else? Does he still got it? Does he have cardio? Oh, he's been inactive for 5 years. Like, bro, I never in my life, like, heard so many dick eaters and doubters in my life. Like, this shit is fucking crazy, bro. Like, niggas really doubting Conor McGregor. That's fucking diabolical.
He's broken.
I think he broke his ankle. No!
5 years ago, Conor McGregor was carried out of T-Mobile Arena on a stretcher with a metal rod about to be drilled into his leg. In a few weeks' time, he walks back into that same arena to fight the most active, the most durable, and technically, the most complete striker the featherweight division has ever seen.
That gap between those two sentences is the entire story here.
Because everything that happened in those 5 years, everything Conor McGregor did and didn't do, everything Max Holloway built while McGregor was gone, it all ends inside that octagon on July 11th. One guy has been in the octagon, fighting for belts, getting sharp, staying active. The other has been recovering from a broken leg, running businesses, making headlines for everything except fighting.
Conor's done. I saw Conor hit somebody the other day again. He be hitting random people now, man.
In any sports, that story writes itself. The guy who stayed active wins. That's not an opinion, it's just a fact.
Facts.
Conor McGregor is walking into this fight trying to break that rule.
You know, John,
I'm not gonna really be pausing like that, only because, bro, like, I'm really locked in with this shit, bro. Like, I really can't fucking wait for this fight, bro. Conor McGregor been going, like, the UFC is like, bro, when Conor is in the UFC, that shit feels like we're watching the fucking World Cup or the Super Bowl or something. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's important.
Fighting, listen to people claim this man to be the #1 pound-for-pound featherweight of all time when I sunned him at that weight.
This isn't really a rematch though, is it? The first fight happened in 2013. Both of them were on the prelims. It wasn't even the top prelim fight of the night. They were kids trying to make a name. Nobody knew what either of them would become. What's happening now though is something completely different. One man is trying to continue adding to one of the greatest careers this sport has ever seen.
Yeah, man.
The other is trying to prove that he still belongs in the same conversation.
Alright, let me stop munching, yo. Let's get it. My bad. Before this video start, everybody pull out their vapes, their weed pen, their gas, their liquor, their beer, their wine, their girl, or if you're watching this, you're a fucking kid, my bad for cursing, but let's get into this shit, bro. Leave a like, subscribe, and eat a dick.
On July 10th, 2021, McGregor's left tibia and fibula snapped at the end of round 1 against Dustin.
What?
On July 10th, 2021, McGregor's left tibia and fibula snapped at the end of round 1 against Dustin Poirier at UFC 264. His coach admitted afterwards that McGregor had been wearing a walking boot during camp.
A little bit of that ankle injury had been aggravated during the camp. We got
Shorty bad as shit. She bad.
gotten a scan on it.
The stress fractures were already there. That checked kick just finished up the break. I mean, going through this cannot be
It wasn't a check. I don't know why everybody keep that. It wasn't a check.
Body.
None of them was a check.
And on the mind. But surprisingly, Conor seemed to be going through that process fine.
And what I needed was a titanium shin bone. So now I've got a titanium rod going down the knee, from the knee to my ankle. And the doctor said it's unbreakable. So I've got all the tools to do this, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm excited about it. And you know what a story it's gonna be.
That genuinely seems to be a guy in good spirits.
You feel
The
me?
message was clear. 6 weeks and we're back to building.
I'm feeling tremendous. We got 6 weeks on a crutch now, and then we begin to build back.
Yeah, that might have been a bit of optimism right there, because the truth
Bro,
is,
this nigga is really a fucking glazer, bro. Like, I'm about to smack the shit out this nigga, bro. Why do you have a fucking Max Holloway shirt that says the fighting business when the Conor McGregor and Max Holloway about to, you feel me?
this version of Conor McGregor right there, that would be the last time we would see it for years.
When you're Conor McGregor,
Here we go with this dick eating shit, bro.
the world doesn't stop moving just because your leg did. The business opportunities keep coming, the lifestyle keeps calling, the cameras stay pointed at you whether you're training or not. And somewhere in that 5-year window, the line between Conor McGregor the fighter and Conor McGregor the brand got very blurry.
At 27 years of age, I had the game conquered. Two-weight world champion. I had the Floyd bout boxed off.
Yeah.
I was only 27 years of age. I had the game wrapped up in a blink. And what more was I to do? I got lost.
The Proper 12 Whiskey Empire is still running. The BKFC promotion obviously still needs you. The celebrity events, the yacht trips, the political conversations in Ireland, all of it is still happening. And McGregor leaned into all of it. He was everywhere except in the gym.
Nigga, what?
Every few months, there'd be an interview where he talked about how badly he wanted to come back.
Now, I'm eager to get back. And right now, I had to dial myself in and go inward. And that I done.
How sharp he felt, how ready he was.
I'm Arnold now. I'm Terminator.
Johnny.
What's it? T12 I am, yeah? T12 on the B12 I am, yeah? So, I'm ready to rock.
But
T-Tide and a T-Man, yeah?
there were no dates, no opponents, no real structure around any of it.
Conor's done. I saw Conor hit somebody the other day.
Bro, DC, like, come on, bro. Like, you supposed to be, you feel me? Like, niggas just be hating on Conor. Like, they was just dicky. I bet you if he win, no, actually not. When he win, they gonna be on his dick.
Again, he be hitting random people now, man.
The closest it got, though, was UFC 303 against Chandler, a fight that had been building since they coached opposite each other on The Ultimate Fighter. But right before poor Michael Chandler was about to board his flight to Dublin, their press conference got cancelled out of nowhere, and 2 weeks later, the fight was off entirely. A broken toe, officially, and then more silence. The return kept being a conversation and never quite becoming a reality.
And it was a few weeks before the fight. I was in very bad pain, and I couldn't do it again. I had done it so much.
And that pattern right there, it matters because it tells you something about where McGregor's head was. Every time the sport tried to pull him back, something got in the way. And you can call that bad luck if you want, and some of it probably was. But professional fighters who are completely locked in tend to find ways to stay on fight cards. They protect their bodies differently, they structure their lives differently. The sport becomes their priority, and everything else moves around it. For 5 years, it genuinely looked like all the other stuff was the priority. That's what makes this so hard to evaluate walking in. Not the leg. The leg healed, not the talent. That's never been the question with McGregor. The question is, what 5 years of not being a fighter does to someone who built everything on being exactly that. The
Nigga, he gonna still whoop ass, nigga.
sharpness, the time,
You feel me?
the instincts under pressure, those things need to be maintained. They need fights, they need real rounds. They need the kind of stress that only competition produces and that no amount of training can fully replicate.
Max Holloway has had all of that every single year. And McGregor is walking in hoping it doesn't matter.
Nah, look, Max is alright. Max is good. Max is my son. I sunned Max when we fought those years ago, and I'm gonna do so again.
He's gotten a lot better since you last fought. Would you not agree?
I don't think so.
Really?
I don't see much.
Since 2013.
No, I don't see much. I don't see much difference now.
August 17th, 2013, TD Garden in Boston. McGregor was 2 fights into his UFC career. Holloway was 3 wins and 2 losses into his. Neither of them was on the main card. The city was basically a home crowd for McGregor. Irish flags everywhere, the whole arena feeding into the moment.
That place was green out there. The whole place is green. Irish flags, Irish jerseys,
Yeah.
man, it was crazy.
Yeah.
I was looking up before we got out, and there's a guy in a leprechaun. There's people floating around in full-blown leprechaun suits.
He was already being treated like a star before he even earned it on the biggest stage. And that night, he went out and backed it up. He controlled the fight, landed clean early, and took a unanimous decision. What almost nobody mentions, though, is that he tore his ACL midway through round 2.
Yeah.
What happened to your knee? I caught a kick, went to advance the pass guard. I had the underhook, was sliding the knee through. My foot was the last bit to come out. And as it was caught, he bridged and rolled, and I just popped. It just literally came out of place. But as it came out of place, I moved into side control with it. But I let out a little scream. You know, I felt it straight away.
Holloway was also dealing with his own ankle injury walking in. So you had 2 guys on the prelims, both beat up, both still figuring out who they were as fighters. McGregor won and moved on. Holloway lost and disappeared into the process of becoming something else entirely.
You know, Max didn't lay a glove on me the last fight. I also tore my ACL. I tore it actually in the fight against this guy I'm gonna fight.
Yeah,
I tore it midway through the second round. I had to improvise my approach and adapt and overcome, and that I did.
But
Did not
Max
lay
is a
glove.
different fighter now.
Is he?
Nah.
Is he really? I don't really see it. I don't see vast improvement.
That's the fight McGregor has been leaning on heading into July 11th.
And our last bout was martial arts mastery by yours truly. So I plan on doing it again.
In interview after interview, he keeps coming back to it. The fact that he beat Max, that he sunned him, that history is on his side.
You know, Joe, I've sat by and listened to people claim this man to be the #1 pound-for-pound featherweight of all time when I sunned him at that weight.
And you almost can't blame him for holding on to it, because when you look at everything else surrounding this comeback, it might genuinely be the strongest card he has to play, which, when you think about it, is a strange place to be. Your best argument for why you win a fight in 2026 is something.
Is this nigga trying to say like him winning is like a problem, or like he just keep bringing it up? Nigga, he won. Like, I already beat you, nigga. You feel what I'm saying? They gave him. They like UFC chose Max Holloway. What did he do? Where's he gonna bring it up, nigga? He sunned him. Like, that's what he did.
That happened on the prelims in Boston in 2013 when your opponent was 21 years old and had a 3-2 record in the.
For certain fighters, bro, the level of hating and dick-eating is like, bro, that shit is diabolical, bro.
UFC.
13 years is a long time in any sports, but in MMA, where careers evolve faster than almost anywhere else, it's an entirely different lifetime.
The fighters who walked into that cage in Boston don't really exist anymore. McGregor became a 2-division champion and the biggest star the sport has ever seen. Holloway became something else too. And what Holloway became after that loss is exactly why McGregor's argument doesn't hold up.
The loss to McGregor in 2013 was Holloway's second loss in a row. He was 3-2 in the UFC and heading nowhere obvious. But then he went on a 13-fight win streak.
He captured the interim UFC featherweight title by stopping Anthony Pettis, then flew to Rio and finished Jose Aldo in his own backyard to become undisputed champion. He did it again in the rematch. Aldo, arguably the greatest featherweight to ever live up until that point, twice. He stopped Brian Ortega.
Come on, bro. Look at these dweebs. Brian Ortega. I can't call him a dweeb.
Worked Frankie Edgar for.
Well, at that time, yeah, he's a dweeb.
For 3 years, nobody at 145 could live with him. Then some
Volkanovski, you feel me?
Dude named Alex appeared out of nowhere, took his belt and beat him twice in a row. Most people would have faded out of the picture. Instead, Holloway went on another run. Calvin Kattar, Yair Rodriguez, Arnold Allen, the Korean Zombie.
32 guys. I've been with you.
Come on, bro. Like Max. Don't get the game fucked up. Max is a great fighter. I'm not trying to say he's trash, but like, let's just talk facts, gang. Like, listen to what he just said. I'm gonna name one elite fighter.
Yair Rodriguez.
Right. It's probably good, John.
It's Arnold
Allen, bro.
Allen, the
Korean Zombie, bro. That was years ago when he was him. Like, come on, bro. Only real guy he fought was Volk. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm sorry to say that, bro.
Went on a
guys, long time.
Gave us the greatest. When Holloway moved up to light,
He's getting sick of me, but I ain't going nowhere for a long time.
You feel me?
Used to it.
When Holloway moved up to lightweight to fight Gaethje for the BMF title, he gave us the greatest knockout in UFC history. I don't know if there's even an argument here. Brawl with Gaethje in a fight you've already won and flatline him in the last second. I don't think it gets better than that. That right there is who Conor McGregor is fighting. Holloway holds the all-time UFC records for most McGregor strikes landed with 3,681 and most total strikes with 3,980. No other fighter in UFC history is even within 1,000 of either mark. He owns the featherweight records for most wins at 20, longest winning streak at 13, most finishes at 11, and most knockout victories at 9. The beating he inflicted on Calvin Kattar, he landed 445 significant strikes in 5 rounds. In round 4 alone,
that's Calvin Kattar, my nigga.
He set the record for most strikes and significant strikes in a single round.
The version of Max Holloway that McGregor beat in 2013 was a 21-year-old prospect on the prelims with a 3-2 UFC record. The version walking into UFC 329 is a 34-year-old with the most prolific striking outputs and one of the deepest resumes in the history of the sport. Those aren't the same person.
Max Holloway holds nearly every technical advantage in this matchup. The only real question mark in Conor's favor is power.
But Max Holloway is more like an Uzi, right? When he fights. But he doesn't have that.
I'm super surprised this nigga actually put Ian Gary's opinion. Like, okay, you know, ball.
One punch power, that shotgun. That's what Conor has. Conor's always had that shotgun. If that left hand lands, it's game over.
Let's start with what Conor actually has going for him. His left hand is still one of the most dangerous single shots in the sport. He moves well, he has genuine timing, and at welterweight, he's the natural, more experienced fighter in the bigger body. Holloway has never fought at 170 in his career. This is his welterweight debut, and how the added weight affects his pace and output is a legitimate unknown.
It's not unknown, bro. You feel me?
The camp is fun, man. Eating a lot more than used to.
That is basically the list for McGregor. On the other side, Holloway's style is volume striking in its purest form. He turns fights into endurance contests, raising the tempo round by round, switching targets when opponents guard up, mixing body shots, headshots, and jabs without ever decelerating. His output in round 5 is statistically the same as his output in round 1. He just doesn't slow down. For McGregor, who is 5 years removed from professional competition and famously built his game around single shots and counters rather than volume, this is the worst possible style matchup. Conor needs clean exchanges. He needs space to read and time his left hand. Holloway doesn't give you clean exchanges.
Look at that shit, nigga.
He needs space to read and time his left hand. Holloway doesn't give you clean exchanges. He doesn't give you any space to read and doesn't give you any time to think.
Everybody can be the greatest fresh, but there's the special ones that know how to figure it out when they're not there. Like when you're tired and you're dead tired, you got to go that one more round, the extra minute. You figure things out, and that's what separates the greats from the greatest.
Now, the one thing worth noting in McGregor's favor is that the chin question around Holloway is more relevant now than it's ever been. For the vast majority of his career, Max Holloway was considered virtually unfinishable by strikes.
He has the most fights ever.
So Ilya Taporia came up.
Being knocked down. I think it's 26.
There's a legendary chin that he has. You know what I mean? It's incredible.
He went through wars with Aldo, Ortega, Gaethje, Volkanovski, Poirier, and never went to sleep. But for the first time in his career, Taporia knocked him out at UFC 308, becoming the first man to ever do it in 30 UFC fights.
You know, give him inches, man. Give him inches. He landed something that I found myself looking at him up from the ground, so it is what it is.
In 3 of his last 4 fights, someone has hurt him badly enough to put him on the canvas or close to it. The chin is still there, the durability is still real, but there's now a pattern that the right shot at the right moment can put him away. And Conor McGregor is not the guy you want testing it. Conor's path here is narrow. He needs to land something massive early, probably rounds 1 or 2, before the volume accumulates and before the 5-year ring rust starts showing up in his reactions. Because if this fight reaches round 3 or 4 and Holloway is doing what Holloway does, the version of Conor McGregor who shows up after 5 years away is going to be in serious trouble. The size advantage at welterweight could help McGregor absorb punishment differently than Holloway's featherweight opponents did, but power alone doesn't win this fight. You're not going to accidentally catch Holloway. You have to find him through the storm he creates, and that requires the kind of timing and sharpness that only stays sharp through competition. Holloway's path here is simple. Survive the first 2 rounds and make it ugly. Don't let Conor find that one clean read. Keep the volume high.
He's gonna find that shit, gang.
Conor turning, make him work for
he already sees it.
Every movement.
He predict these things. He's called the Mystic Mac.
Round 3, if McGregor hasn't found the finish, the fight is almost
one short. You'll be left on your back.
Certainly his. The one thing nobody can fully account for is how much ring rust matters at this level. The specific sharpness that comes from having been in fights recently, the split-second decision-making under real pressure, the ability to process and respond when something goes wrong. Holloway has been sharpening that tool consistently. McGregor hasn't used it in 5 years. That gap might not show in training, but it definitely shows in a fight. 13 years ago, 2 kids fought on the prelims in Boston, and nobody thought much about it afterwards. Now, one of them is arguably the most statistically dominant striker.
Fuck this nigga feeling like Dana White. He just said them 2 kids. Them niggas probably older than you, gang.
In the history of the sport, coming off a BMF title run and, in my opinion, the greatest knockouts the UFC has ever produced. And the other is trying to prove he can come back from everything. The broken leg, the surgery, the partying, the legal cases, 5 years off, and compete at the highest.
This nigga just named all his crazy shit.
Level of the sport again.
We're going in here 100%. I'm going into this fight 100% Conor McGregor, not 92. 100% Conor McGregor. So it has to be really meticulous.
That is the real tension in this fight. Not who wins the first 2 minutes. What happens when the fight gets hard? When the volume starts piling up? When the body starts telling the truth about where it's actually been? Conor McGregor has always been at his best when he had everything to prove. There's a version of this where he walks out there, times Holloway early, and lands something that changes everything. That version exists. His power is real, and it travels to welterweight. But on the numbers, on the activity, on the trajectory of both careers, this is Max Holloway's fight to lose. Because when you strip everything back, McGregor isn't just trying to beat a fighter. He's trying to beat the rule. The one that says you stay active, you stay disciplined, you stay present, and that's what separates the guys who win from the guys who used to. Holloway has lived by that rule for 13 years, and McGregor is walking in trying to prove it doesn't apply to him.
Gangster, that's why I fuck with him, gang.
So which is harder? McGregor breaking the rule that says only the...
Yeah, bro, we don't give a fuck, bro. I hope everybody enjoyed this fucking video. I'm gonna see y'all motherfuckers next week, bro. Let's just get to the fucking date, bro. Fuck all this talking shit.